Hello, Mastermind here, and welcome to my first episode of My Cooking Show. Around the show, I will be teaching you how to make my own creation s'mores pie. It's a really good dessert. I prefer to make it around the holiday time, but you can make it anytime you want. Ingredients and how much and quantities will be posted in annotations like this. Hopefully, by around this point, I will put them up. But anyways, first thing you're going to need is a graham cracker crust. So, first thing we're going to do is have my brothers, Nick and Chris, help out by first explaining the safety rules of the kitchen, and then they're going to help me make it. Oh.
Hello, I'm Nick,
And hello, I'm Chris.
and we are here to tell you the rules about cooking. First, you always need to have an adult supervising you while handling open flames and knives.
And second, always wash your hands before cooking so you don't get germs on them.
That's good. Okay, you two are going to help me out with making the crusts. Now, the first thing you're going to need are 3 pie tins, 2 to put the graham cracker crusts in, and 1 to press down on the crusts. Then you're going to need your ingredients. You're going to need a food processor with with 1 whole bag of graham crackers in it, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, and 12 tablespoons of melted butter. Put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds. As it puts that in, we're going to be pulsing the graham crackers. Okay, Chris, push down on it for pulse, and wait, count to 2, and then put. Okay, do it again, repeatedly. Put one hand right here on the handle. Okay, now count to 1. And have like the distance between each one. Okay, stop for a moment. And as you can see, there's still some pieces left. And we can see that our butter is completely melted. Now I think we're good. And that is looking great. Okay, after your vigorous pulsing, this should be good. This is a part where kids want to get an adult. And that will be good. Actually, save the spoon.
No.
Now take this off the processor.
And put it into the pie crust.
Okay, Nick, I want you to spoon this in until I say stop. To spoon some of that in until. Oh, just spoon it in.
Our hands are clean.
Gram it.
I don't think you guys need my help anymore.
No, they're gonna be. Okay.
And do not sneeze on the food.
Okay, that's enough.
Another important rule of cooking.
Yeah, don't sneeze on the food.
Spread it out a bit. Nick, I want you to spread out this one.
Nobody likes people who sneeze on the food.
Okay, Chris, your turn. Nick, back away. I want you to.
Okay.
Chris, I want you to do this to the edges.
With my hands or with a spoon?
Preferably with your hands.
Woo!
Not too much, though.
Are we doing good?
Okay. Now, just spread that out a bit. You can use your spoon. Now here comes the important part for shaping. Take a second pie pin and press it down hard as you can. That's good. That's it. That dude.
Chris, don't.
Yeah, looking great. Now you're gonna want to do this twice with what's left of your crust, and we will be back after we've done that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is set our oven to 375 degrees and wait for it to heat up. We'll be right back. Okay, so we have our pie crusts here, and we had a little extra left over, so we were able to take one of these mini cupcake tins and make like mini crusts that we're going to use later for miniature versions. So we're going to keep waiting until it hits 325, and then we'll cook them. As your oven gets to your preheated setting, ooh, this is hot. You simply put your pie crusts in for 7 to 8 minutes, where they will most likely become a beautiful golden brown. As your pie crusts are cooking, prepare your ingredients for your custard. For this, you are going to need a cup and a half of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3 cups of milk. The recipe calls for whole milk, but regular is just as fine. 4 whole egg yolks, not the whites, just the yolks. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Sorry, do not do 2 tablespoons. I don't know what that'll do. 2 tablespoons of butter, and finally, what you actually need, 6.5 ounces of bittersweet chocolate. You can use any kind of chocolate you want, but I prefer 60% cacao. Let's do this. Combine in a saucepan your 1.5 cups of sugar, your 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and your 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Normal salt, whatever salt you normally use, table salt. Whisk it together and try not to do it too vigorously at the beginning. You do not want a huge cloud of cornstarch. See, like that, you don't want too vigorously. Next thing you're going to add is your 4 egg yolks, separated from the whites, and your 3 cups of milk. Now, just whisk it all together. The eggs are what's going to allow this to stay together, while the cornstarch is going to have it keep its shape in a way. That's pretty much all I know. I'm not Alton Brown. Once this comes to a boil, stir it up, and then turn off the heat and stir it up a bit. There it is, nice and thick. At this point in time, you're going to stir this over medium heat until it just becomes starting to boil. Always keep your eye on it because it may seem to go slow at first, but afterwards, the moment you look away, it'll boil fast. Keep stirring so it can have heat spread through it diversely. Like I said earlier, the eggs are what is going to let it cook and harden up. Next thing you do is add your finely chopped chocolate, 6.5 ounces worth. Stir that in. Oh, that rich color. If you could smell it, you'd love it. And if you are smelling it because you're following the recipe as I'd make it, you are experiencing heaven. Then add 2 tablespoons of butter and just mix that in. And finally, add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Actually, no, just 2 teaspoons. Don't do that, do 2 teaspoons. And stir all together until it's well combined. Don't judge me, you make mistakes too. There. Beautiful, isn't it? Now take your 2 pie crusts and line the bottom with miniature marshmallows. I made my own. Shout out, thank you to Alton Brown for the recipes and for the recipe for the marshmallows, and the Pioneer Woman for the chocolate recipe, for the chocolate pudding recipe. So good. These. Now these pies would not be proper s'mores pies if they were just regular marshmallow. They were just regular plain old marshmallows on the bottom. Right now there are, but set your oven to broil and keep a good eye on these. You don't need too many marshmallows. Keep a good eye on them and put them in there until you see, and keep watching them, and take them out as soon as you see a little bit of smoke. This will make sure that the marshmallows stay nice and fluffy. So that they stay puffed. And you want this time. You don't need to call the Ghostbusters. Okay, into the oven they go. Okay, as you can see, I have successfully almost ruined the dish, but hey, you want it a little toasted so that the marshmallows stay springy on the top. So give this one last good stir. Last good stir, good sir or woman, whoever's watching this. Take a serving spoon for soup. Put this off to the side. And ladle in. Spread it around. About 3 large dollops should do it. Just 1, spread it around. 2, spread that around. Should get it all in there. And finally, the last one, pour that in, spread it so that it reaches the top, and there's a little bit of butter there, of course. And there we go. Now you're gonna want, the final step is gonna be the hardest one. You're gonna have to wait for 4 hours to let these settle and cool, but this will definitely be worth it. So, let's do this. While you're waiting for your pies to be done chilling, let's make ourselves a special drink of the famous Christmas Delight hot chocolate. Here's how to make your own mix. This is going to be triple the size, so just use about 1/3 of the recipe. Got it? Okay. In the biggest bowl you could possibly find, take a whopping 6 cups of confectioner's sugar and pour that right in. Then take a regular 1 cup bit like this and measure out properly 3 cups of unsweetened cocoa. You can be any kind you want, but the recipe prefers a Dutch processed. Hold on. it may go in lumps, so you may want to break it up with a fork. There we go, 3 cups of unsweetened cocoa. Put that right in. Take that fork from you may want to take that fork from earlier and mix that up a bit, so it's not all just layer after layer. Don't worry, I'm not coughing on the mix. Now, take that bowl from that measuring cup from earlier. I use it to measure out 7.5 cups of non-fat milk powder. This will give it a creamy taste to go with the chocolate. Just measure that out, eyeball it. Using the 1 cup thing again. Measure out about 1 cup. Then fill it to the 6. Fill it up to the 7. You're gonna want to integrate it in little bit by little bit. You can put in not enough, but you can't take. You can put in more, but you can't put in. But you can't. You can put in more, but you can't take out any. Now we got that all measured out. Using the fork again. Mix that in. After that, you're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of fine salt. You want to do it like so. I'll be right back. Add your 1 tablespoon of fine salt. This would normally call for 1 teaspoon, but as you can see, as you could probably see, 1 teaspoon is 1/3 of a tablespoon. Then take cornstarch, the nice and fluffy stuff we have here, and add in 2 tablespoons. This one was a bit of a heaping, but this packs. And 2. Just seal that up, back up any way you want. Stir that in a bit. That's a little dusty, ain't it? Now find a lid for the said bowl and shake like all heck has broken loose. Like so. I would play the song Shake It, but I do not have proper money. I'd say that's pretty good. We should probably wear a gas mask when we make this. I'm just kidding. This is not toxic. And there you have it. A delicious, very delicious looking powder, hot chocolate powder, jumbo family size. To use this, put 2 tablespoons of the stuff in a mug and pour in 2 ounces of hot water or hot milk. Then stir it, and then fill the mug as you would normally. This will keep for a year if you keep it cool and dry and away from air. It has terrible asthma, so do not. Make sure it gets its inhaler and stir it after each extraction. Okay, so it has been 4 hours, and we have here our lovely s'mores pie. Now, there are 2 things you can do. 1, you can just leave it and leave the underneath a surprise. Or 2, give people an idea of what they're eating beforehand, so you don't have to tell them. If you want to do that, take about 2 graham crackers, put them in a bag, along with some mini chocolate chips. Just not the whole bag. Just actually pour some in after you have completely closed it up and crushed it like so. You can also use a food processor again, but who wants to take that thing out again? Works just as well with store-bought graham crackers. The good part of this is you can have a bit of a crunch. place on so and spread it out with your hands. Then just pour about, let's say, 1/8 of a cup of mini chocolate chips and sprinkle. Spread out again. At this point, you can choose whether or not to put marshmallows on it or not, but I prefer to have marshmallows. I made these myself. I'll have the link in the description to Alton Brown's recipe. Just spread them around willy-nilly. And there you have it. A lovely, superb, deluxe dessert. Known only as s'mores pie. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.